I think he's always wondering, like, who are you talking to? Let's get cozy. So in today's video, I'm gonna highlight 3 major points on how I personally started not to give a and started to care a little bit less about other people's opinions, you know, all that shit. Here we go. Maybe I shouldn't do that. Okay. I recorded this video a few days ago and I was all dressed up, you know, all that good shit, hair, makeup, whatever. I was like, wait, if I'm gonna make a video about this, I'm gonna be my most authentic self. I'm gonna be in bed, hair up, no makeup, big shirt. By the way, a lot of you guys were asking where I got my shirt in like a few videos ago. I will link it down below. Literally, I think all of my oversized tees are from this brand. It's super comfy, eco-friendly packaging, all that good shit. Super cool designs on them. I have a bunch. So if you guys want to go check that out, I'll put the link in the description down below. This whole morning I spent recording a podcast for class. I was like, wait, I might want to start doing this, but I don't know. I want to see what you guys think about it because you guys are my viewers, and I thought I would talk about what I talk to my podcast on YouTube for you guys. So we're going to be talking about how to remain unbothered and all in all, how to not give a I have like 5 pages of notes, so if I'm constantly looking down, which I will try not to, but it's because I'm looking at my paper. Let me just start off by saying social media detox. And now don't exit the video and be like, I've heard this before, blah, blah, blah. Because let me tell you something. He doesn't like the light shining on him. He likes to dig his head under the... Anyways. I have little sisters and I see them growing up in a way that I didn't necessarily grow up in. I don't think Instagram really came out until I was like a sophomore in high school. They've been on Instagram since they were like 10, 11. Crazy, right? I made my little sisters their first Instagrams and I feel guilty as Social media is literally designed for us to give a about what other people are doing, what other people are wearing, what other people are eating, what other people are saying, what other people are laughing about, and even what people are not wearing, when people are not doing, what people are not saying. It goes both ways. Social media is designed for us to give a So do we not already see the problem with that? I don't know, do you? And if you don't, that's totally okay because it took me so long to realize the issue. The reason that you should detox from social media is because you learn to think for yourself. You learn to generate your own thoughts. Wow, shouldn't we be doing that already? And you might think, well, I already do that. Well, you're probably influenced in some way. Social media is literally designed to persuade, to influence, to enforce. If you guys haven't watched Social Dilemma on Netflix, I highly recommend you do so. It will literally explain in depth what I'm trying to say. It's kind of scary. Once you delete it, you realize that you will simultaneously, without even thinking about it, go to open up Instagram or go to open up Snapchat without it even being there. And it's crazy. You realize how much you do it without even thinking. It's insane. But I feel like it takes you to like separate yourself from the issue to reflect on like how toxic it is. Let me just say this, it's like an ex. So you're with someone, you love them, they consume most of your time, social media. You're with them 24/7, it's very intertwined bond. Then you break up, right? So in this breakup time, in your social media detox, you have time to reflect. You have time to think about, you know, get yourself out of that toxic mess, the relationship. But you can't go straight from being out of the relationship to being friends with them. It just doesn't work. You need to go through that period of reflection, and that's the same with social media. You might not realize the mess you're in until you remove yourself from it. Then you can go back into using it more consciously in moderation. Does that make sense? Social media is like putting on a show, and yes, I'm a hypocrite. Yes, I'm sitting in my room literally putting on a show for you guys through the internet. I know. The point I'm trying to get across is to use it in moderation. If your goal is to remain unbothered, then putting on a show on social media for people, whether that's this aesthetic persona you're trying to achieve or anything you're trying to prove, you're giving the most Twitter. I had it for a few years in high school, deleted it. It's been like 5 years. Don't miss it at all. I mean, people say like the funny videos, but I'm like, literally it's just another app that consumes most of your time. Like what? And I know this goes for like Instagram too, but like Twitter, like I just, what? You're obviously trying to prove something, or else you would just write this shit in a diary and close it and call it a night. You know what I mean? Like what? I just don't understand Twitter, but don't come after me. I don't know. I know it's funny, but like what? Okay guys, I'm not trying to like make this into a social media rant. You just need to sit back, think why you're doing this, who are you doing this for, and what are you trying to prove before you post something. And it'll help you stay a little bit, you know, unbothered by other people's opinions or what other people are doing. Because you'll start to be like, hey guys, okay, so I'm currently editing this video right now. I realize that sometimes it kind of sounds like I'm making commands or like demanding you guys to act a certain way or be a certain way, when in reality, like that's not what I'm doing at all. When I'm passionate about something, I tend to speak like making commands. That's just kind of like the way I talk. Yeah, I'm sorry if it comes off that way. I fall guilty of all the things that I've talked about, and I'm just talking about what works best for me and like how I got myself out of those situations. Wait, look at how cute he is. Okay, like for those of you who don't know me, I'm a media major in school, so I'm definitely not bashing on social media at all. It's literally what I'm paving my career towards, so I just feel like it's good to be aware and it's good to be conscious of like how we're using it. I noticed that I kind of got ranty about social media when like I just like felt really passionate. Guys, I'm like sitting in my room like literally talking to a camera, so obviously I'm gonna keep going on and on about a subject, so I'm sorry I didn't want it to like come off that way. So I'm sorry, I just had to pop in there and say that. Number 2, talk less, listen more, okay? Guys, let me elaborate. Personally, I'm a very overly sensitive person. I've been this way my whole life, and when you're overly sensitive, you naturally care a lot about what people say because it affects you. You take it to heart. There's nothing wrong with that. I do that. So to be overly sensitive and to flip it into not giving a fuck was hard for me. What I like to ask myself is, what do you have to prove? You don't need to fight to be heard, because at the end of the day, in order to not really give a provide no reaction. People love reaction. And I've learned that because I'm 1 in 5 kids, and although I'm the second oldest, I don't feel like I was bullied. My siblings are very nice, but I definitely was a target because I would always provide a reaction, and like they knew that. So they were like constantly messing with me because they knew I was the most sensitive and I was gonna be hurt, or like I would act out, you know, and that's what they wanted. That's what people want. You just don't provide a reaction, literally. Keep it in, or rant to your significant other at the end of the night. Now, don't take this as like advice for me telling you like be an introvert, because I'm not an introvert. As you can see, I'm a pretty extroverted person, and I like to voice my opinion a lot of the times, and that's okay. I'm not I watch those YouTube videos, like advice from a 100-year-old, their tips or just like life advice, you know? They just say like listening is a good quality to have. If you are a good listener, it will take you very far in life. A very key factor to be unbothered is to not letting stuff phase you. You don't need to act. You don't need to provide any response. You don't owe anyone a response. Definitely listen. Don't just become unattentive, but you don't need to provide a response. My favorite thing to ask myself if I notice myself getting worked up, will this matter a year from now? And chances are it probably won't. 99% of the time it won't. So don't waste a single second worrying about it. I think that's why stoners are the most unbothered people, because they're too faded to even give a f about what anyone's saying. But you know, I can't tell everyone just to smoke weed and be unbothered, because that would just be wrong, wouldn't it? There's other ways to fix life problems than staying in your room and smoking weed all day, okay? Anyways, number 3, last but not least, another key factor to remaining unbothered is confidence. Now, I know this whole talk about confidence deserves a whole podcast in itself, because I can go on and on and on and on about it, but hear me out, guys. Finding your confidence is a journey, and guys, trust me, I know, because I'm still on that journey. Definition of confidence, according to Oxford Languages, is the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something. So apply that definition to ourselves. I know, easier said than done, but guys, hear me out. We know ourselves better than anyone else on this earth, and that's a fact. That's like a fact. So to doubt ourselves is absolutely crazy. The idea that we need reassurance from others is actually insane. We don't need validation from anyone. So my key for confidence, get to know the inner you, get to know the best you. And like, I don't know, go on a trip far away, just journal. Like for me, reading through past journal entries, you're seeing yourself from another point of view, maybe at a time you were not your best, or at a time where, you know, you were going through some shit. Well, I saw the growth through myself, through my writing. I don't know, heartbreak. When people go through heartbreak, you know, you think it's the end of the world. Like when you lose something, you think it's the end of the world, maybe a loved one passing away. But through situations like that, you start to understand the inner you know? In order to not give a fuck, we have to be confident in ourselves that what we're doing, saying, wearing is like right for us and is no one's business but our own, you know? We're doing it for a reason. So like, what other people have to think, what other people say. Have confidence in yourself to not like back down from that. It was really hard to start a YouTube channel. I tried starting in high school, but I just, you know, high school's scary. People are mean. So to start one in high school was actually just not gonna work because I had no confidence in myself, and if anyone even found out about my channel, I would cry. So I ended up taking all my videos down. You know, no one gets anywhere in life without confidence. You need to be confident in yourself and don't back away from situations because you're getting talked about or you're getting hate, and not let the opinions of others break the bond with you and your inner self. And by this inner self, I'm not some like spiritual, like get to know the inner you, like meditate, you know? I'm just saying like the inner you, the person you wake up with, not the mask you put on when you're around others, you know? Like the real you, the actual you. All right, guys, thanks for listening to me rant, by the way. But if you've taken anything from this video, it would just be to fucking love yourself. People already have this preconceived idea of who they think you are, so what they think. Live for you, do you, don't live for anyone else. And that's all I really have to say. That was fun. I think I want to do more of these because 1, I hate getting ready. 2, I love sitting in my bed. And 3, I love to talk. Thank you so much for listening. Just let me know what you guys think.